Pokémon is missing a type. There, I said it. As the series has evolved since its inception 29 years ago, 3 new types have had the honor of joining the original roster of 15. Generation 2's Pokemon Gold and Silver added both the Dark type and the Steel type, while Generation 6's Pokemon X and Y added the Fairy type. These types were added for a myriad of reasons, such as expanding the range of inspirations Pokemon designs could be drawn from, increasing the scope of gameplay possibilities, and balancing out existing overpowered types. It has now been a whopping 11.5 years since the Fairy type was added, and I feel that the time is right to rectify a long-running mistake I believe Game Freak has been making. Like I said before, I think Pokemon is missing a type, and it's time we fixed that. If you're interested in creative and analytical content like this, then please like the video and subscribe. It would really mean a lot to me. Anyways, without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the Cosmic type. This video was sponsored by T-Posing Incineroar. Please get as far away from me as possible, T-Posing Incineroar. Thank you. So, what are Cosmic type Pokemon exactly? This sounds like a silly question, but I think it's quite important. In my opinion, if an entire new type is too hard to explain or describe, then it's not fit for Pokemon. Despite there being so many types, each one has its own unique identity, and I think I've hit upon a very solid identity for the Cosmic type. To me, Cosmic type Pokemon are Pokemon that came from space or have some strong relation to space. Whether they're from the moon, the ozone layer, or from deep outer space, all these Pokemon share the commonality of being foreign to the natural world. They exhibit strange, unexplainable behaviors that can't be attributed to psychic types, dark types, or even ghost types, and are often very rare. Unlike dragons, fairies, and bugs, which are all part of the natural world, or ghost and dark type Pokemon which have a strong connection to the afterlife, Cosmic type Pokemon are in their own bizarre category of creatures that straddle the line between natural and supernatural. This gives them a defined niche that, in my opinion, justifies their inclusion as a new type of Pokemon. I'm not the first person to ever suggest a new Pokemon typing. Throughout the years, I've heard of types like Sound type or Light type, so why did I choose Cosmic for this video? And the reason is simple. I believe Cosmic has the highest roster of existing Pokemon and existing moves that could easily be given the Cosmic typing. This means that a lot of the legwork has been done for us already, and it means it has a much higher chance of becoming real someday. Now, on the existing Pokemon side, we have quite a few contenders for wielders of the Cosmic type. Let's have a look at them. Pokemon that will become Cosmic type. Let's start at the beginning, shall we? Generations 1's Kanto region brings us 2 Cosmic type contenders, the first being the adorable Clefable evolution line. As they are explicitly stated to have come from the moon, this one is a gimme. The other contender is the Starry line, as their Pokedex entries mention them using their gems to send radio signals into the night sky. Heck, the original red and green Japanese Dex entry even mentions that the citizens of Kanto believe Starmie to be an alien. Skipping ahead to Generation 3's Hoenn region, we have quite a few potential Cosmic-type Pokemon in our hands. Firstly, we have the space-themed duo of Solrock and Lunatone, the former of whom is stated to have fallen from space and been from the sun, while the latter was first discovered at the impact of a meteorite strike. Some interesting things to note. Firstly, both entries mention that Solrock and Lunatone are actually very new Pokemon, as in they were first discovered recently. Secondly, Lunatone's entries mention that no one has been able to prove it's actually from space, but the fact that it's an in-universe theory only proves that their origins in space are probably legitimate. Also from Hoenn are the legendary Pokemon related to space, the first being Rayquaza, or Rayquaza, or Rayquaza, or however you pronounce it. It literally lives and protects the ozone layer, so this one is another freebie. And yet another freebie is the alien virus Deoxys, who is explicitly shown coming from the stars and is called an alien virus by multiple Dex entries. Now finally we have Jirachi, who doesn't have direct evidence in its Dex entries for the cosmic typing, but it has a star-shaped head, only awakens for a few days every 1,000 years, like how comets come by the Earth once every many years, and grants wishes. It's literally the personification, Pokemonification? Of wishing on a star. Moving on to Generation 4's Sinnoh region, we have Palkia, literally the master of dimensions and space. If there was any Pokemon that would be Cosmic type, it would absolutely be Palkia. Why is it Water type right now anyways? Is it because of its pearls? Additionally, we have Cresselia, the Pokemon of the full moon. Yet another freebie. Generation 5's Unova region brings us a few more mysterious and eerie candidates, those being the Gothitelle and Beheeyem lines. Gothitelle's line uses the stars to predict the future, while the Beheeyem line are literally just aliens. They are said to have first appeared recently after a UFO crash, steal dubwool from farms, apparently, and can meddle with TVs to depict their quote-unquote home. I promise you guys, I'm not crazy here guys, I swear. Generation 7's Alola region offers my beloved Minior, a Pokemon that lives in the ozone layer before it grows too heavy and crashes down to Earth. We also have the entire suite of celestial legendary Pokemon, Cosmog, Cosmoem, Solgaleo, Lunala, and the various forms of Necrozma. Cosmog and Cosmoem are thematically young stars, while Solgaleo represents the sun and Lunala the moon. Necrozma's role as the eater of the sun and moon relates it to eclipses and black holes. Finally, every single one of them are aliens from another world entirely, so they're about as cosmic as you can get. Finally, we have Generation 8's Galar region. There's only one candidate here, that being the origin of the Dynamax phenomenon, Eternatus. It's literally an alien that fell from space in a meteor long, long ago, and can even warp space-time when forced into its Eternamax form, somehow. And those are all the potential old Pokemon that I could see becoming Cosmic type. As you can see, there are a couple of generations that don't have potential candidates, but that's okay. The Fairy typing only pulled from a few generations when retroactively changing old Pokemon typings, so there's precedent to leave some generations out. As you may have already surmised, many of these Pokemon are currently Psychic type, which seems to be Game Freak's current catch-all for the majority of spacefaring Pokemon. However, the typing doesn't do these Pokemon justice, in my opinion, as they often have very little in the way of psychic abilities seen in other Psychic types. Many of these Pokemon are a Flying type as well, but once again, it feels like these typings are an afterthought, as they don't really fit with the nature of their respective Pokemon. The perfect example is my darling Minior, who only gets a single Flying type move, Acrobatics, and even that move is one most often given as a flying coverage move to non-flying types. Of all these Pokemon lines, it's notable that 8 are legendary and 7 are not, which means the theoretical generation that would add this new type would need to add many more regular Cosmic type Pokemon to counteract the abundance of Cosmic type legendaries. Additionally, most of these Pokemon are special attackers, which isn't overly surprising, but means that many of the new Cosmic Pokemon that would need to be introduced would need to be physical attackers in order to balance the type out. Moving over to the move side of things, get it? Many existing moves fit perfectly with the new Cosmic typing. These moves are Cosmic Power, Stored Power, Wish, Moonlight, Morning Sun, Photon Cannon, Light that Burns the Sky, Gravity, Lunar Dance, Prismatic Laser, Psycho Boost, Teleport, Ally Switch, Magic Room, Wonder Room, and Trick Room. While these moves fit the Cosmic type thematically, most of them are status moves, which means that this new type is at a dearth of attacking moves. They'll definitely be needing some new moves, and I'll go over those later. But first, I'd love to give you a picture on how I imagine Cosmic type Pokemon would be integrated into the wider context. In essence, how would other types of Pokemon change with the addition of this type? How would other types change the Cosmic type? Where would they be found, and why? Let's jump into all of that right now. The integration of Cosmic types. To begin, I'm thinking that similar to how water types often get ice type coverage moves and how rock types get ground moves, etc., I think that Cosmic types would often get electric, flying, and psychic type moves sprinkled into their move pools, as those types fit best with the overall theme of the type. Additionally, I think that those same types of Pokemon, electric, flying, and psychic, would get Cosmic type moves sprinkled into their move pools as well. Honestly, I couldn't think of any other types that made sense to learn many Cosmic type moves. Maybe Fairy types? But they're already way overpowered as is. Let's be honest with ourselves. We don't want to give Fluttermane even more weapons of mass destruction. Rock types are another option, but the only real connection they have is the move Meteor Beam and Minior, and the concept of asteroids, which is a loose connection at best. Like Dragon types, I think that Cosmic type Pokemon would be extremely hard to find and fairly rare, often found in high places like mountaintops, as well as remote areas of the world. A few of the more culturally integrated ones, like Gothitelle and Starmie, would be less rare, as they've mostly assimilated to life in the Pokemon world. I'm also imagining that in its debut generation, there would not be a Cosmic type gym leader, but instead the leader of the evil team would specialize in Cosmic type Pokemon, and their plan would revolve around them in some way, shape, or form. Perhaps both new legendary Pokemon would be Cosmic type, and the plot has something to do with a threatening apocalypse, so maybe like the Delta episode? I would play it, at least. And that's a brief overview of the type in a Minior shell. But let's activate our Shields Down ability and take a closer look at what the Cosmic type is all about. That's right, it's your nitty-gritty mechanics time. Oh boy! Cosmic type mechanics and type matchups. Firstly, like many other types such as Grass and Ghost, Cosmic type Pokemon will have an inherent property that helps set them apart. This property is as follows. Cosmic type Pokemon cannot be pulled to the ground by the effects of gravity and similar moves, more on that later, or by using Roost. This is to emphasize that, as Pokemon from space, they are used to dealing with changes in gravity and are not easily grounded. Beyond this property, Cosmic type Pokemon have inherent strengths and weaknesses, just like any other type. When I was considering the type effectiveness for Cosmic, I focused on two key design philosophies. 1, I want to help balance the existing types, and 2, I want the type effectiveness to make sense logically. Cosmic offensive matchups. Offensively, Cosmic type moves are super effective against ground, fairy, water, and electric type Pokemon. They're good against ground because space is literally the absence of ground. Fairy, because creatures so attached to nature are inherently vulnerable to unknown extraterrestrial threats. Water, because water has no place in space. And electric, because aliens in fiction are often known to mess with electricity and electronic signals. On the other hand, Cosmic type moves are not very effective against bug, normal, Ice, and Dragon Pokemon. They're bad against Bug because Cosmic-type Pokemon live on a grand scale, and Bugs live on an incredibly small scale. They're bad against Normal because in alien movies, humans, aka normal, regular beings, are often depicted as being somehow naturally resistant to whatever the aliens throw at them. As for Ice types, the cold atrophy of space leads to the eventual decay of all things. And as for the dragons, they are very unusual and mythical creatures an alien wouldn't be prepared to fight. Cosmic defensive matchups. On the defensive side, pure Cosmic-type Pokemon are super affected by Poison, Normal, Ice, Dragon, and Water-type Pokemon. All of these types represent things that are often used against aliens that end up being their ultimate downfall, ranging from harsh climates to unknown diseases or poisons to supernatural creatures like dragons. Just like with resistances, everyday normal things are often seen triumphing over aliens, which is why Normal gets its first ever super effective type matchup. Water and Ice are also here because it's a common trope that aliens are defeated because they cannot handle the amount of water found in our planet in all of its forms. This creates an interesting dichotomy where Water and Cosmic both super affect each other. On the other hand, pure Cosmic-type Pokemon are not very affected by Ground, Fairy, Steel, and Electric-type Pokemon. Ground moves have difficulty damaging the untethered Cosmic types. Fairies find that their natural magic is ineffective against otherworldly beings. Our modern technology, aka Steel types, always fails against aliens, and space is full of electromagnetic waves, and spacefaring creatures are therefore naturally resistant to them. New Cosmic-type moves. Our deeper dive into the core of the type continues with new Cosmic-type moves that I myself created. The chances are high that these moves are not balanced in the slightest, but that's okay. I'm also not going to read all of them, but if you want to pause the video and read all 50 billion moves I made in the span of a couple days, you can. I'll just go over the ones I find to be most interesting. There is a lot, and I mean a lot, to discuss here. First of all, I wanted Cosmic-type Pokemon to have a unifying field effect, similar to Fairy-type's Misty Terrain or Water-type's Rain. I decided on Gravity Zone, a move that totally changes the dynamics of battle, aiding your team with speed control and improved defensive positioning. During it, allied Pokemon are immune to ground-type moves and grounded entry hazards, while enemy Pokemon are grounded and have their speed lowered by 1 when they first enter the zone, unless they're Cosmic-type. These are strong effects, of course, but this is balanced by the fact that it only lasts for 3 turns, sort of like Tailwind. Of course, like other types, Cosmic types don't need Gravity Zone to succeed, as they do have many other options on the physical and special side. Many moves are very intentionally similar to existing moves, like Doppler Shift being a special body press, Gentle Constellation being a side grade to Aurora Veil, Gamma Ray being an Overheat clone, and way more. I'm a fan of the weak physical priority move Shooting Star, the 2-turn move Orbital Strike, and the always crit move Positron Punch. I made all of these moves because, unlike Fairy types who got very few moves to work with for their first ever generation, I wanted Cosmic types to start off with a full roster of moves to choose from. This, hopefully, helps them feel more like a fleshed out and integrated type that is flexible enough to support any kind of Cosmic type Pokemon. There are moves for sweepers, defensive walls, support, and glass cannons alike. My favorite new Cosmic type move, if I had to choose one, is Event Horizon, a move that summons a black hole that completely changes the tempo of the fight, as it traps every Pokemon, totally changes the flow of battle, and threatens to knock out every Pokemon in 3 turns. It's balanced out, however, by pinning everything on the Pokemon that used it. If they faint, the effects end and the move fails. I think it would really add a lot to the thrill of battle, so long as the Pokemon that receives it doesn't have a reliable recovery move. I just know Game Freak wouldn't be able to help themselves. Finally, I would be remiss if I failed to mention the new entry hazard, Space Junk. We haven't gotten a new real entry hazard since Stealth Rock in Gen 4. No, Gigantamax Copperage's Gmax Steel Surge doesn't count. And I felt that we were about due for another one. By lowering the evasion of any non-cosmic type Pokemon, it effectively increases your Pokemon's accuracy against them, enabling new combos that weren't possible before. Like with Toxic Spikes, Cosmic types can absorb and remove this hazard, which balances the fact that the hazard affects all other Pokemon, grounded or not. I'll wrap up this absurd deep dive with the Cosmic type themed abilities and items, starting with the abilities. These abilities are thematic to the Cosmic type, though not all of them are exclusive to Cosmic type Pokemon. Many also relate to Gravity Zone, as it is a terrain effect. Cosmic type abilities. While many of these abilities are extremely similar to existing ones, I feel that they are quite thematic. I'm especially proud of the Homeworld Defender and Offworlder abilities that change the type matchups ever so slightly, as well as intentionally bringing in some Pokemon that are adjacent to Cosmic types but didn't make the cut. Cosmic type items. Silly Phoenix, you might say. Items don't have types. Are you stupid? To which I would reply, yes, but that's not the point. Items may not have types, but they do have theming, and many existing items do interact only with specific types of moves. To fully flesh out Cosmic type's implementation, let's look at some of the items that would be introduced alongside the Cosmic type Pokemon. Many of these items specifically have to do with Gravity Zone, similar to how other items that activate during certain weather conditions or in certain terrains. But the others feel flavorful and hopefully let the type feel a little more fleshed out. I'm now imagining a very angry Incineroar flying around with a jetpack and I am terrified. Someone please save me! Overall, Cosmic type Pokemon are a strange sort from even stranger origins. In battle, they use a combination of moves with wide varieties of effects combined with tricky status moves to combat their foes in totally unique and alien ways. While not reliant on Gravity Zone or their new hazard Space Junk, many of their moves and abilities make great use of both. On a competitive level, they're meant to nerf the more powerful types, like Fairy and Water, while buffing weaker types, like Bug and Ice and even Normal. This type is versatile, but has plenty of exploitable weaknesses that hopefully keep it from being overpowered. So, there's the Cosmic type in all of its stellar glory. I hope this little snapshot of this new type I've created has in some way inspired you. Perhaps now you might think differently about how Pokemon can be categorized and expanded upon. Or maybe you're just interested in how a new type would change the competitive Pokemon scene forever, like the Fairy type did back in X and Y. Or maybe, just like me, you wish that Game Freak would make Cosmic type an official type already. Either way, I hope you enjoyed this foray into a type of Pokemon that may not exist in reality, but will always live rent-free in my heart. If you enjoyed this video, then please like, comment, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you so much. Love you. Bye.